Alright, welcome to this third game between LsP Viper and LsP Flamingo. So this time playing this yellow Zerg it's Flamingo, and playing the brown Protoss it's Viper. I guess Viper was really hoping for a Protoss now, so I think he is happy about this race, because he was a Zerg in the second game and was a Terran in the first game, and he was quite unlucky because when he was Terran he was facing a cannon rush supported by Zealots, which is really hard to defend against with being a Terran player. Most Terran players find it extremely hard to not to die to a cannon push with Zealots, and Viper just died to that. And in the second game he was Zerg against Terran, and Viper didn't make any drop defense. He was really focusing on getting the choke up, so he didn't make drop defense, and Flamingo managed to get inside his base with one tank and some bio units, and managed to kill most of Viper's drone, and Viper didn't have any units to protect against that. So he's starting off with an Nexus. He really wants to play standard right now. I really feel he wants to go for a big game right here, going for upgrades, going for mess. He doesn't really want to mess around this time. On the other hand, Flamingo just starts off with a standard choke. He really wants to be safe against any attacks. And he's lucky, so to say, because Viper is not going for the rush, so Flamingo will be safe and will have time to build up the choke and get his economy going. He shouldn't be scared of any early attacks, which is always nice for a Zerg player. Zerg players just want to feel safe. That's what a Zerg player really wants to feel, that they are not attacked, they have time to focus on getting the economy going. And this is the perfect time for Flamingo to feel that, as Viper went for the 2 extra Nexuses. He won't have to be surprised. I mean, he won't be surprised by any Zealot rushes or cannon push, and he doesn't even know the race of the other players, so Flamingo is just scouting. He might think Viper is a Terran player, because most Protoss players just go for an extra fast scout. Protoss scouts are always the fastest in the game, so now he might believe that Viper is a Terran player. And he's not even scouting with probes, he's sending just Zealots. He's doing this because he knows he's fine. I mean, he goes for late game anyway. He's going for a great economy, and he doesn't really have to worry about the enemy's race, because if it's Terran it's even good, because PvT is always easy for the Protoss player. If he's Zerg then it's fine, because, yeah, as I mentioned, he was going for the late game anyway. Yeah, so Viper is by now he must know, because he was seeing the scouting Zergling, so he knows his enemy is a Zerg player. He will go for most probably fast Templar drop to harass the economy of the Zerg player, and Flamingo just going for the evolution chambers in front of the Sunkens. This is a good way to defend these Sunkens. There was a game Flamingo was playing against me, and he didn't make these evolution chambers. He just had the hatcheries and the Sunkens, so I was able to destroy his Sunkens quite easy, because there was no evo chamber to protect them. But this time he's doing that, which is nice. And yep, so Viper is going for the drop, most probably. He might also try fast Dark Templar supported by Corsairs, but right now I was checking that this is not the case. So he's not doing that. Not most, but some Protoss players go for Dark Templars and also go for Corsairs. And the Corsairs kill the Overlords, so the Dark Templars can safely kill the Choke. It's a nice way, anyway, to... It's not a good option against mass Zerg, so I mean who has already built up and has mass units. It's not a good option. This option works against the Choke, to kill the Choke, because the Corsairs kill the Overlords, and then after that, if the Zerg player doesn't have a Spore Colony, then the DTs can really easily kill the sunken colonies. But right now, Viper is going for the drop. He's not going for the DTs, as I mentioned, but he wants to do some damage in the economy of the Zerg player. If you do not harm the economy, then the Zerg will have a chance to get big and go for mass. And this is what Viper wants to avoid, so he wants to go for the drop. Flamingo is going for the Hydras. He has a basic amount of hatcheries, so he will be able to produce Hydras. As I mentioned in the first game, or maybe it was the second game, sorry. So in the second game, I mentioned that, yeah, Viper was doing this exactly in the second game, that Zerg players start off with some hatcheries and they produce Hydras in the beginning to be able to protect against the drops. And these Hydras are not for attacking, of course, but so these Hydras will be used to defend the drops and the vessels. So if he doesn't pay attention, then he will be able to drop, and he's not doing that. So he managed to drop, and okay, that was a nice dodge. Flamingo managed to dodge the drop and only lost like 2 or 3 drones. And yep, Flamingo mentioned this last time to me, that he's not really relying on drop defense, but on dodges. He doesn't really like to go for mass drop defense. He prefers going for Hydras and defend with that, and he also prefers dodging. So he always stacks the drones and then sends them to another base, which he was doing right now. So that was a nice move, and managed to save these drones by stacking them and dodging the drop. And Viper is going for the contain. He'll just try to close his enemy from the front, from the side, from everywhere. Basically, a Zerg player really has to be closed. You don't want to let a Zerg player to just freely move on the map wherever he wants to. Another shuttle is being prepared for the drop, and he's just coming inside right now. Waited for the speed. He manages to get inside. Let's see if he manages to... Okay, that was a fairly nice drop. Yeah, he dropped 2 Templars at the same time, and they were focusing on both sides of the main, and Viper did a great job by killing the drones that were pulled off and were stacked. This is a moment where the Protoss player really has to focus on units. He has to focus on dropping and on units at the same time. While he's killing drones and decreasing the economy of the Zerg player, he also has to get units, making use of the time he gets by this. And when they have enough units, then they will try to go for the bust and kill his enemy, or kill their enemies, because this is the moment when the Zerg player has to spend all his minerals on getting the drones back. They are not really able to get a bigger drop defense, they are not able to get a fairly high amount of units, and Viper is just doing this right. He's continuously dropping his enemy. This is the only chance of the Protoss player to win against the Zerg, just to harass his economy as much as possible. Flamingo is just doing the pull correctly. And Viper just managed to kill only 2 or 3 drones because Flamingo did a great job by pulling his drones and managed to save them. And now he really has time to get back the drones because he has money. So he can even just go for some extra defense right here, which he's doing right now. He's also spreading his overlords to be able to get a clear vision of the map and to be able to see in time when the shuttles are coming. This is crucial for the Zerg player. They always have to spread the overlords around the map. Once they know the drop is coming, then they have time to dodge the drop by pulling the SCVs and go for the stack. Viper is using the reverse to clear the choke. This is the time when Protoss players get a very high amount of reverse, and they use the reverse to break the choke, so that Zealots and Goons will be able to go inside the Zerg's base. And this is also a good time for the Protoss player to drop, because some Zerg players just really get scared by the reverse and they focus on building the choke, sending units there, and meanwhile this is happening, the Protoss player can come inside and do the drop. Okay, that was a nice move. He killed, because the drones got stuck near this spanning pool, and Viper just saw that and cast a storm right there, killing lots of drones. So he's just going on with the reverse and killing the choke. He's continued dropping, and Flamingo doesn't really have time to get bigger and bigger. He has to deal with the choke. He has to rebuild the sunkens. He has to defend his main. He has lots of things to do, and Viper is just getting bigger and bigger, getting units. He's already supply blocked, he's maxed out. In any time soon he will just clear these sunkens and will go for the bust, and he might be able to win this game. Because Flamingo doesn't really have any units, only some Hydras right here. Right, he's just coming closer and closer and using his goons to help the reavers. He doesn't want the reavers to be lost, so he was using some goons to take the damage. But right now he sees that Flamingo doesn't really have anything to protect, so this will be the time when Viper will send his units from the middle of the map. Flamingo is just using meters to kill the reavers. Viper is not sending any more units, but he is sending now the Corsairs to kill these meters. This might be the final blow with reavers. Flamingo doesn't really have anything to defend against the reaver push. Viper can just safely send his reavers to destroy sunkens, destroy hatches. And another drop is coming in. Templar drop is doing his job, killing drones. Okay, that was another drop. He wanted to cast a storm on the drones, but he managed to kill his own Templar. Anyway, it's GG.